So the DOM actually also includes CSS styles. And so with DOM manipulation, we can also change styles. So let's try that out now. And what I want to do here is to change the background of this entire page here to a green color whenever the player guesses the right number. So when the player wins the game. And we will also make this number here wider than. So let me just demonstrate that here. So let's quickly win this game here. 17. And so you see, we want this green background and also this number here being wider. And for that, of course, we need to manipulate the styles of this page. So the CSS. Okay, so that should happen here in this scenario where the player wins the game. So where the guess is equal to the secret number. And actually, let's add some comments here to make this code a little bit easier to understand. So this one, when player wins, this first one is when there is no input. This is when guess is too high. And this one here is when guess is too low. So this now at least looks a little bit nicer. But anyway, let's now learn how to manipulate CSS styles. So we want to manipulate the style of this whole page. And so what we need to do is to select the whole body of this page first. Okay, so the body is basically this entire visible part of the website. So it's basically this whole element. All right. So as always, we need to start by selecting the element that we want to manipulate. So document.query selector and then the selector. And now it's just the body element. So there's no dot because that's for classes. It's just really the element name. And since there's only one body, it's going to work just fine. So here we select the body, and now we want to change the CSS style. So here we need to write style. So we access basically the style property of this element, and then another dot, and then the name of the property that we want to change. And in this case, it is the background color. So background. And in CSS, we write the background color like this, background-color, right? However, in JavaScript, that's not allowed. And so in JavaScript, all these property names that have two words, like background color, will simply adopt the camel case notation that I already explained you before and that we've been using all the time. So instead of background-color, it's going to be background uppercase C for color like this. And the same rule applies to all the other property names that have multiple words. So style.backgroundColor, and now we set it to something. And let's get the actual color from our CSS. So you see that background color here is the one that we're trying to define, and we will specify it to this color value. So this is a standard RBG value in hexadecimal. And so we set it equal to, then we must write a string, and then the value we want to set it to. So just like before, to set anything on the DOM, we simply use the equal sign. So we have all of this, so the background color property on the style property, and we want to set it to this value. And so we set it equal to the value, okay? So that's one part. And now let's also increase the width of this number here, okay? And that's important because I want to show you something there. So document.querySelector, and that is the element with the class of number. And again, we want to change the style. So .style.width. And then again, we need to specify a string. So whenever we are manipulating a style, we always need to specify a string. We cannot just write like a number, like 30. It has to be a string, and in there we need a unit. And now I already closed the file, so let's open it up again. And the number that I'm looking for currently has a width of 15 rem. And now I want to double it, so 30 rem. So 30 rem. And again, it needs to be inside of a string. I cannot just write 30 rem or 30, so just a number. That would not work. We have to specify a string, which in this case contains the number plus the unit. So the same would be for percentages or pixels or whatever unit we use in CSS. Okay, give it a save now. And now let's actually try the correct number right away. So 12. And yes, it worked. Let's actually get rid of the console here. Then the page looks a bit nicer. And we can also, by the way, get rid of the terminal here in VS Code, because even if we close this panel here, this process will still keep running. The only way we stop this process from running is by hitting here this trash can, which will kill the terminal, or by hitting Control C. So let's close it, because this takes up too much space. But yeah, so this worked just fine. Now these styles are actually set as inline styles. So of course we are not changing the CSS file or anything like that. And let me just show that to you. So actually I will need back the dev tools here. Make it a bit larger now just to show it to you. And so indeed, it is an inline style. So a style that is applied directly in the HTML using this style attribute. And the same is going to be true for the body. Exactly. So we see here, this is the background color that we just applied. All right. So of course, not changing the CSS file or anything like that. Okay. And that's it actually. That's really the fundamentals of manipulating styles in CSS. The most important thing to remember is to use the style property, and then on there is where we specify the CSS property, and we need to specify that property in the camel case notation in case there is 2 words. And then the value always needs to be a string. So that's all you need to know in order to change styles like we just did here. Awesome. We're doing great progress in this project, and I hope that you're enjoying it so far and that you find it a lot of fun to be able to manipulate a web page like this. Anyway, in the next video, we will implement this reset button here, basically, where we can play the game again. And so I hope to see you there soon.